Hi, my name's Molly. I am a receptionist here at Grady Veterinary Hospital, and today we are going to talk about some things that are toxic to dogs and cats. So number one is going to be grapes and raisins. They can cause acute kidney problems and even kidney failure. Because they are so toxic, even one grape can be really serious. So definitely contact your veterinarian if you think or know that your dog ingested a grape or raisin. Another thing that is toxic to dogs is chocolate. We try to think of it as the darker the chocolate, the more serious it is. So cocoa powder is the most serious of all of the chocolates. It can cause vomiting and elevated heart rate, seizures, restlessness, and sometimes if it's a large amount, it could even cause death. Another thing that is toxic to dogs are macadamia nuts. They can cause muscle weakness, vomiting, hyperthermia, ataxia, which is a loss of balance. They rarely can be fatal, but in large doses can be quite serious. Another thing is over-the-counter pain medications and human medications like ibuprofen, aspirin. I know we all want our dogs to be healthy, but sometimes medications that are for humans are not safe for dogs. So never ever give your dog or cat any over-the-counter human medications. If you do or think you may have, there is a pet poison helpline number that you can call, and you will actually be speaking to a doctor, and they will advise you on whether or not you need to seek veterinary care after the ingestion. Another thing is marijuana. With an abundance of edibles readily available now a lot everywhere, it's almost legal everywhere now, so it's important to keep a close eye on your animals and to keep your stash out of reach for them. If they do get into it, can cause serious health concerns, lethargy, delayed response to verbal and visual cues, incoordination, incontinence, vomiting, diarrhea, and in severe cases, it sometimes can cause death. So make sure you keep that up and away from your furry friends. Another thing that is toxic is xylitol, which is artificial sweeteners. It can cause severe reduction in blood sugar levels, leading to muscle weakness, seizures, vomiting, and also with xylitol in severe cases, depending, it sometimes can cause death. Cooked bones, especially rawhides and bully sticks, it can cause intestinal blockages. It doesn't get broken down, so it can cause a puncture in the intestine or the stomach, and they can become very sick from that. Anything with caffeine, coffee grounds, tea, elevates the heart rate, which can lead to heart attacks, and in some cases, again, in severe cases, it could cause death as well. Another thing that is toxic is corn on the cob. It's toxic because of the cob. It does not digest. So it can cause blockages, they can choke on it, it can get caught in their throat and their jaw, and it can cause blockages if it's swallowed. We don't like to induce vomiting with that because it could get stuck coming back up. So you might possibly need to have surgery depending on the size of the dog and the size of the cob. Moldy foods. It can cause decreased appetite, vomiting, bloody stool, tremors, or depending on the amount, the size of the dog, it can cause seizures. So it can cause a lot of health concerns, moldy foods, so make sure you throw those away, or if it's thrown away but not completely thrown away, up and from where your dogs or your cats can get to it, because they can get really sick from that. A sago palm plant. That is a very common house plant. And it can cause liver failure. So if they get a hold of that and ingest any part of that plant, it could be very serious. And then in cats, something that is just toxic to cats are two species of lilies, true lilies and daylilies. So those are very toxic plants to cats. So they can actually cause kidney failure. And so if you think any of your furry friends have ingested any of the toxins that we've talked about in the video, I would contact your veterinarian immediately so we can get that taken care of.